Looks like the stream's working. There. That should make everything work. Oh, come on. Oh, this looked a lot cooler a few seconds ago. Just go get more. That's pretty cold. Oh. Hello? I'm Buildzoid, and you're watching my AMD FX 8320E LN2 overclocking live stream. Oh yeah, this is really cool. Wish I could actually see into the damn cup. Man, this is getting cool. I think I went overboard. Oh well. Damn it, this worked so much better when I was practicing it. Anyways. Yeah, and thanks to Cooler Master for sponsoring me for today. And for basically everything I do. So today I'll be overclocking with this motherboard. It's a 970 gaming from MSI. No, it's not the 970 graphics cards, it's a motherboard. It's based on the 970 chipset from AMD, and I have an 8320E in the socket, so it's just an AM3 Plus board. The VRM is a doubled up, yeah, it's a doubled up 6+2 phase VRM, so nothing amazing. Kind of crappy, actually. There we go. And basically this motherboard isn't ready for any kind of LN2 overclocking right now, so I'll be going through how to set up your motherboard really soon. The other stuff I'm using is a liquid nitrogen pot, basically giant block of copper, right? The black top is aluminum. And yeah, this is a liquid nitrogen pot. You pour nitrogen in, it sits on top of your CPU. And what else do we have here? There. And this is the PSU I'll be using for today. It's just a 550 watt G550M from Cooler Master. 550 watts, semi-modular, bronze rated. I don't need a lot of CPU, like PSU power, because I'm not planning on doing anything too extreme today. And so this should be plenty. Alright. And it's overall a pretty good PSU. It's also really small, so that's nice. Yeah, and other than that, let's just get straight to it with the installation for this motherboard. So, when you're overclocking with liquid nitrogen, which I still have some here, right? So, actually, let's point the camera down so you can sort of see where I'm gonna. Right. Let's see, just there. See? Whoa! I got it on my pants. So yeah, that was nerves. As you can see, you get condensation absolutely freaking everywhere. So that was a little bit overkill with that. Whoa, those are cold now. Yeah, it's not that risky. You can spill it on yourself. It's kind of bad if it gets on your clothes because then it gets stuck in them and it really is cold. But as you can see, it makes condensation everywhere. So that's a problem if you're overclocking because condensation is water and water plus electronics don't mix. So you have to prepare your motherboard so that if any water does get on it, it doesn't stop working. So let's get to that right now. Is this stream working properly? So I'll just take you around to where I'll actually, so this will be my benching table, but I'll be working on the motherboard right here. So for insulation, I just go with a bunch of Plasti Dip and ArmorFlex. Alright, and I'll also be setting up the motherboard because this is not an LN2 overclocking motherboard. This is just like a regular gaming motherboard. It does have a slow mode switch, which allows you to swap your CPU frequencies. Right? But it doesn't allow you to, like, it doesn't have any of the LN2 overclocking features that you would find on something like an ROG Extreme motherboard, an OC Formula, or a Gigabyte SoC board. So, you know, it's kind of limited in that way. And so I need to set up a few things on this board in order to get it to work. So first of all, I need voltage sensing on the core voltage. I don't really care about Northbridge because we won't really be going too insane on that. So first things first, I'm going to be getting voltage reading wires coming off of these so that I can just, you know, snap a multimeter on them and get voltage readings. So let's get to that. I'm just going to use some red wire. It doesn't matter how thick your wire is, you're just sensing voltage, so, you know, it doesn't matter. And I'll have plenty of it because, you know, obviously don't want to be too close to the board when it's going cold. There. So let's turn up the soldering station. And yeah, this obviously voids your warranty, so yeah. So I'll just wait for this to heat up. I'll get myself a chair. There we go. So yeah. So that's heated up already. So just strip the wire and solder it to one of the output capacitors. So these are your output capacitors on a motherboard. You just solder it onto the back of one of these. Just both legs, because that way you don't need to figure out which is ground. Because these markings don't, like, if you don't remember what the markings translate to, and if, yeah, it's just like, you can't even see them on the other side. So it's better if you just solder to both. And that way you can't, like, make a mistake where you're measuring ground to ground, which obviously doesn't measure anything. So yeah, let's get started with that. Oh, this is turned on. Damn it. I keep forgetting to turn that thing off since it doesn't have an off switch. So yeah, first things first with soldering, you want to always use a lot of flux. If you don't use enough flux, then you're going to have a bad time. If you use too much, you're not going to have a bad time. If you use, so just use way more than you think you need, and you'll be good. So first things first, you always just tin your wire that you're trying to solder onto anything. And now this stuff is lead-free, and it should melt at, like, you know, all electronics components are made with lead-free solder. But that stuff doesn't, and it's rated to melt at like 250 or something degrees, but when you have a pretty weak soldering pen like I do, this is only 50 watts, you're not going to melt through this stuff. So just crank it up to like 300 and solder at that. There. Just get it to melt. And it doesn't matter if you get a, like, not that great connection, because we're going to, there. So that's one sensing wire attached. And of course you can attach it on just about any capacitor you want. It doesn't really matter which one you attach it to. So I'm just going to pull more wire, because again, it doesn't matter what color it is, it's just like sensing wire, so. Sure, you might get negative voltage readings if you use the wrong one, but really who cares? If you just swap around your leads, you're going to be reading the right voltage again in positive. So get this stripped. There we go. And after this, it's just Plasti Dip the motherboard. I'm going to do the whole motherboard, and you just do that with a paintbrush. And after that's done, we can start with the LN2. Now, where did I put that? Whoa, I'm mad at this. So I managed to misplace the paintbrush in a whole 5 seconds. Let's Just with this. Come on. There we go. That's tinned. Okay, this motherboard isn't so bad for like the soldering. It's nice. There we go. Now, oh crap, I caught the other one. Oh no, it's not bonding. I'm gonna have to clean up my. See if I have too much solder on there. Give it a little bit more heat. Hopefully it'll. There we go. So that's done. Oh well. You can glue gun this, you can plasti dip this, you can basically whatever this, like this part. And I'm just gonna go with glue gun since it's already warmed up. I'll need to clean it off a little since I got it. And it's out. Oh well, plasti dip it is. Where did I put the brush? I had a paintbrush for the plastic plate setup to go, and then I put it somewhere and it's gone again. Whoa. That sets a new record for me losing something. Where on earth did I put it? Oh, there we go, found it. There, so plasti dip, if you don't know what it is, it's basically just it's like liquid electrical tape with a fancy name and kind of high price tag depending on where you buy it. And you can buy it in spray cans, but I'd recommend you buy it in a like this kind of tub because this dries off faster. The other alternative to plasti dip is Vaseline, but that makes it's like really messy in my opinion, so I prefer plasti dip. Admittedly, Vaseline is easier to get off the motherboard once you're done because you can just chuck it in the chuck the whole motherboard inside your what's it called? Washing machine. So first up, I'll make sure this doesn't come apart by just getting some plasti dip on there. Right? Just a little bit. Yeah, and I'm using a paintbrush to apply it. Best way to do it. Then I'll take off the motherboard backplate because we're not going to be using that. And with the plasti dip, you can go for a really thin layer because none of the voltages on a motherboard are actually that high, and plasti dip stops like a ridiculous voltage in just like a millimeter thick layer. So 1/10 of a millimeter layers are fine. We can go really thin with it. Now it does take some time to dry. So let's go and take the top off the board. There. Those aren't coming off good. So yeah, and I'll also be taking off the heat sinks. Actually, I'll do that from the back first so that this has some time to dry. Please get a screwdriver. There we go. Alright, and you just take off all your top heat sinks. You might want to also take, depending on how long you'd be using LN2, you might want to also take off the bottom heat sink. But generally, the area that gets all icy and frosty and wet is this sort of area. It doesn't generally go towards your chipset down there, so I'll only do the upper part. There we go. It's one screw, 2 screws. There. Yeah, so you just take off your heat sinks. Turn this down now because I won't be using it. Actually, turn it off completely. Since again, I'm not going to be. I don't need to know north bridge voltage because this motherboard has offset for the core voltage, and that's the one that's a problem for me. If it, like, that's my biggest negative with this motherboard is you can't set a specific voltage. It sort of just jumps around depending on what your CPU frequency is and what offset you set. So there we go. That's one heatsink off. So that's the north bridge heatsink, and here comes the RAM. And this one's like there. Right, and this one uses a nice thick thermal pad, so yeah. Now with LN2 overclocking, a lot of motherboards you can just leave the VRM bare because it'll actually, like the LN2 gets so cold that, like this whole area just gets so cold that your VRM won't overheat. But, yeah. There we go. Alright, is this stream down? Or is it just my computer being a mess? Okay, no, the stream's fine. Cool. My computer's just being weird. So let's pull this apart. And I'll keep the CPU in the socket for this whole process because that basically stops me from breaking the socket with plastic dip. Though it might be a bit hard to get the CPU back out of the socket. There we go. And put the back plate off. We won't be needing this any longer. There we go. So that's your motherboard completely stripped down. Now let's just start plasti dipping it, and you just want to cover everything up. The MOSFETs you want to sort of let them be able to contact the heatsink, but again, it doesn't really matter that much. And you don't need to go overly copious with the plasti dip, just thin layers are fine. So, you know, just cover up everything that might short out. And it doesn't have to be so thick that you can't see what's under it. Like, as long as it covers everything, you'll be fine. Because you're just waterproofing here. Alright. Cover everything up. Make sure that nothing can short out. With Vaseline, you would just like use your finger to do the same, but Vaseline's messy, so I prefer plasti dip. Also, with the plasti dip, you can just keep it on there for ages and ages and ages. Like, you never have to take it off. In theory, it should be easy to take off, but in practice, no. I've tried taking plasti dip off a motherboard in the past. That was not a nice experience. So basically, once you plasti dip a motherboard, it's plasti dipped for life. Unless you want to spend like ages and ages and ages trying to peel it all off. So yeah, this will also make your like motherboard, like if you make a mess with thermal paste, it will also protect it against that. Basically, it just protects the motherboard against dust and any kind of short circuits. And like, just cover up everything, because sure, it doesn't look like there might be anything here, but you know, just in case. The PCB might have a tiny little scratch, and it would really suck if one of your signaling traces for the RAM or the north bridge or something got shorted out with something else. So yeah, and with the RAM slots, just go along the edge like that. You don't put plasti dip into the RAM slots themselves. That just breaks them, and obviously that's not something you want to do because you might want to use this motherboard again with 4 sticks of RAM or whatever, and kind of need your 4 slots then. So yeah, I'll just cover up everything area. Yeah, and you can really go pretty thin with the plasti dip because, like, when I first did this, I went really excessive, and it was just like no point at all. Really, the motherboard survived like 5 hours of benchmarking. So yeah. Well, 5 hours of use with LN2, not really benchmarking because I was testing power draw at the time. There we go. Just get every single area to make sure that it's properly protected. You can even get the mounting holes because they're just grounding points, but you know, whatever. You can get them too. Doesn't matter, won't stop the board from working. Won't make a difference. Just be careful to not get any plasti dip in them because then it like solidifies there, and it, like, don't cover them with so much plasti dip that they're complete, like it gets across, because then you can't get your cooler through them, obviously. So there. Yeah, and just take the edge of the north. Well, actually, just cover up the whole north bridge except for the die, because the die needs to have the heatsink on it. So cover up all the little. Probably just cover up all the little beige blocks on there to make sure that those can't short out either. and don't touch the actual chip itself. Just avoid the chip. There, so like that. And then obviously get the edges of the north bridge as well. So like that. Make sure that nothing can get, like no water can get under the north bridge. Right. That would, again, that would be really bad if your north bridge got shorted out, so just cover up these as well. And as you can see, it's already sort of drying up there, so just cover this up. Get this VRM over here. So these are the north bridge VRMs for this north bridge, but luckily you don't really have to do anything with that one. And I'll get the PCIe chips down here, the PCIe switches. So yeah, there. Get those. And hit this area. Just make sure that the sun can't short out there. Go. And yeah, this is just, you keep covering up the board, and these were passively cooled, so you can just go right over those. Cover this area up. Cover this area. Go. Get the RAM slots. And I'm just going to go over the RAM slots one more time to make sure that I really have them well on this side. There. That should be good. Let's cover up this area. Also, just completely plastic dip everything. There's no harm in extra. It'll just dry longer, so I'm going really thin mostly because it'll dry really long and I don't want to bore you with that. So there. And now I'll start doing the VRM, so get the little chipped in between. Try only get the actual connectors on the MOSFETs, because like the heat will still go through the plastic dip, and actually if you do it really thinly over the MOSFETs, you can just go right over them. That way you're sure you won't short them out. Right? So just go right over them and just make sure it's thin to like prevent the heatsink from being completely worthless. There we go. Just get all of them. Yeah, and make sure you really do cover everything that has like bare contacts on it, so bare leads and stuff, because if the water builds up in that area and shorts out, then that's really bad, especially if your VRM shorts out, because like if it shorts out on the output side, you can easily get your VRM to catch fire. So there. And obviously get all the capacitors and everything as well. Go between all the gaps. No, nothing can stay unplasti dipped on the VRM, so yeah. Just go absolutely over everything, over all of your chips. If you just make sure that no area of PCB is exposed, then you know you're doing a good job, so just keep going through. Just finish this up. Go. We do that area there. That. And go through to make sure that everything between the chokes and capacitors is done. Then check between every capacitor. There, like that. And that should be all good now. You should all be pretty well insulated. Then just get the back row as well. Like, really do the whole motherboard, depending on how long you're going to go. But I only have 16 liters of nitrogen, so I'll probably run out in like 6 hours with this. Well, less than 6 hours with this chip, because this chip, it's a 8320E, pulls a ton of power. Yeah, basically just hit this area with as much as you want, because there's nothing really that gets hot in your I/O area, so just go right over everything without really caring about how much plasti dip you use. There. That's all covered up. There's a little bit too Get the input capacitors, the big capacitors in the back, just get everything in this sort of area. So you just keep covering it up. There. And then obviously you'll do the back of the board too. The back of the board is easier because there's nothing there on this one. So you just go right over it and you're done. Your power connector, you don't really have to worry about those. Those are relatively safe from humidity, so you just sort of get them on the board, and once you plug it in, it's fine from the top. You don't really have to do anything to the top part since they're all separated out with plastic. It's all good and safe. And it looks like I have almost everything done already. So yeah, I just got over a mounting hole. I'm going to ignore them because I'm not using a proper case for today. I'm just going to be benching off the edge of a table. This area. That was a PCIe slot, so wipe that off. Like with your PCIe slots, you want to be careful because if you actually cover up the pins, which actually contact from the inside, so if you get the top, it doesn't matter too much, but obviously if it gets inside, then you're going to not be able to run a graphics card, and that's really bad on a chipset that doesn't have any integrated graphics. So, yeah. You don't want to disable your PCIe slots. If you have something like those Asus Sabertooth boards, then obviously you have the little PCIe covers and those kind of help with this kind of stuff. There. I'll get the edge of the RAM. Now there's many ways how to insulate between the RAM. Ideally, you'd want to use a syringe and just take a syringe and pump the plastic dip in between the slots. I don't have a syringe with me available, so I'll just go around it and then I'll shove toilet paper down the in-between areas and tape. Actually, I'll just tape right over it because that's how I've been doing it. Some people prefer to use toilet paper. I just go with electrical tape for everything RAM related between the slots. If you were, or if you had a really fine brush, you could also try do between the slots. But I don't have one, so I'll just do it this way. This looks like the front is done, almost. Okay. Just get everything up in the upper half of the motherboard and anything you might be worried about. Generally, everything past the north bridge will be okay because the north bridge dumps a lot of heat into its own area, so yeah, if you're not benching for very long, the cold won't spread through the whole motherboard and you won't just get a giant icy mess, but and actually as soon as the water turns to ice, then you're good because your ice isn't conductive, it's the water that's the problem. So yeah, get this PCI slot. There. There we go. I'm not going to be using the onboard sound, so I'm just sort of going to ignore that area. And one final, and I didn't quite get that area yet. So get between those capacitors and make sure that they can't be shorted out. There. Now the problem with using Plasti-Dip is it ruins your brush. So basically every time you do Plasti-Dip you need a new brush because once you use it once it solidifies and you can't do anything with that brush. So yeah, and that edge. And I'm going to be using the fan headers, so I'm not going to put any Plasti-Dip on those. Now get the top edge of the motherboard. And there. So that's how you Plasti-Dip the, at least I Plasti-Dip the board, right? So there. Let's see, will the light help? See? You can clearly see the whole, like the board was already matte black, but now it's all covered in plastic dip as well, so yeah. And just because you can see the different leads still doesn't mean there's not plastic dip on them. Even the black plastic dip, if you apply a very thin layer of it, it's clear. So yeah, that's that. That's the top of the board done. I'm just going to get this edge a little bit cleaner. There. So let's go do the back. The back is even simpler. You just go right over everything. This area, la-di-da. Now just paint right over everything. If you have a big brush on hand, then I really recommend using it for the back because that makes your life a lot easier. Obviously, cover the bottom pins of the RAM slots. There's no harm in doing that. If you have a bigger brush, you can obviously cover this area much faster than this. But this is the only brush I found in the 2 hours that before the stream that I had to prepare. So, yeah. I don't think things through that much. There. Just cover absolutely everything on the back because there's nothing here you have to worry about. Nothing that needs a heatsink contact, nothing that you can connect to. Oh, just go right over everything. There we go. And since the back is easy, I'm going to do way more on the back than on the front because there's nothing to worry about on the back. Go all the way. Get the chipset. And obviously before starting to do any of this, you want to check that your motherboard even works because there's no warranty for it once it's in this state. I mean, it has no warranty once you do that, but you can usually remove that in such a way that it looks okay. But yeah, once you get the plastic dip on there, this is not coming off. But generally, if the board worked and you do this, then it won't die, so there shouldn't be any reason why you'd have to RMA it. Unless, of course, you blow the VRM. So always get a good motherboard. This is not the best candidate for an 8-core, but I'll manage somehow. There we go. It's done, and the top's already drying. Now let's get the VRM area. Oh, did that disconnect? Oh, that did disconnect. Oh, sucks. That really sucks. Okay, I'm going to have to resolder that somewhere, like a couple steps down. It doesn't matter, as long as you get 2 different legs on each capacitor, then and they're all oriented the same way, you can measure voltage across them. You don't need to necessarily just use one. Since one of them is just being ground and the other one's just hooking up in parallel to the rest of the VRM, so yeah, you don't really have to worry about as long as you have one free. So I'm just going to finish up the top part of the VRM, then resolder that to start this up again. And next time I'm going to be more gentle in covering up that connection. This one hasn't come off, so that's good. That one must have come off when I flipped the board over. I'm going to put more plastic dip on this to make sure it stays. Yeah, blowing on plastic dip doesn't really help with it drying that much, so you're just going to have to wait for it. There. Get the I/O. Get everything, really, so. Okay. Do. There. And just a little bit more and I'll be done. Oh, don't tell me this one popped off too. Yeah, okay, avoid those two. I'm going to keep those for any extra connections that I've screwed, in case I screwed over even the second wire, so, because it looks like it loosened up as well. Get that PCI slot. These I/O pins are really big, so the plastic dip is kind of harder to apply onto them. So, yeah. And just take it down to the bottom of the board. There. And now, in theory, this should be relatively easy to peel off, but it doesn't. It sticks really well to the board, so yeah, once you're done with this board's going to stay like this forever. Unless you want to spend ages on just removing it. There. Yes. There we go, and that's basically finished. There. Yep, that's the whole board plastic dipped right now, except for those areas. So I'm just going to check them, or take a multimeter, check that the wiring is good, and solder that one on. Once that's soldered on, I'm going to put the plastic dip over it too, and then I'm going to put on the heat sinks. So that hole is going to be a bit of an issue. Right. So what was it? Right, soldering. Crank this up to 300. All right, and I want the multimeter to check the connections. Oh, this one looks good to me. Oh, let's get it. Obviously, you need a multimeter when overclocking, so this is just some pretty bad one. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. And I'm just gonna check. And to check if you have the right capacitor leg, if it's hooked up, you just take your wire, get it to 1, and set it to resistance, and you want to see 0. I'll just hit the same leg on a different capacitor. Yeah, 0.3. So this one's still good. This one's still connected properly. I don't have to worry about that one. I just need to reconnect the other one. This one. That's stripped. That's not stripped, so I'll strip both ends. Yeah, and if you're wondering how I'll look this up, I'll just use screw terminals at the end to the multimeter, which is why I'm not bothering with one end, doing anything to it. There. Oh. So again, tin the wire. On there. That's tinned. I'm gonna have plastic dip all over me in a couple seconds. That's not dry yet. This is dry. Yeah, that's dry. And just hit a different leg. This is not wanting to bond. I'll throw more flux at it. Oh, Bill, that seems to have... No, wait, that's the one. There we go. There, that one's connected good now. To solidify. And I'll just gently get plastic dip all over it again. And yeah, as you can see, the brush is already solidifying and failing to work. So that brush after today is getting binned. Oh! Yeah, this is what plastic dip should feel like. Yeah. Just gently go over it because I don't want to break that connection. Get a great big dollop because the plastic dip actually, like once it solidifies, it can be sort of used like hot glue where you have great big dollops of it to hold stuff together. So yeah, that also works there. And now I'll just do a final check on the motherboard. Everything is covered. Yeah, it looks like everything's good. The area is still wet. Oh, I'll just shred it up a little and go over it with some fresh. Thin it out there. It'll dry faster now. There. So that's actually the whole board done on the back, and the front I'll just leave it the way it is. There. Yeah, so this will hopefully dry out pretty quick, and I'll get to the LN2. And if you want to make the wire management somewhat easier, then you can just push these through one of the screw holes. That makes your life a bit easier checking voltages because you don't have to search for the wires. There. There we go, and the front's already dried, so that's great, so we can just keep on rolling. Next up is ArmorFlex. So basically this is just like, it's called ArmorFlex, I don't have any idea what it actually is. This one I used for an FM2 P3H, and no, it won't fit. So yeah, I'll just go cut out a new piece. Right in the CPU area, you want to use thick. This is 5mm, right? And you just cut it out to this, like, cover up the socket as best you can, and that'll prevent any kind of. Well, it helps again with lowering the amount of condensation your plastic dip job has to deal with. So yeah, time for the scissors and a knife. I need scissors and a knife for this part. Just sort of, you can just sort of eyeball this because this stuff deforms really easily. Of course, if you have way too much of it, then you're going to have a problem, but basically you want to sort of feel out where your CPU is, right, and just sort of form fit it. So the socket's right there. So yeah, I'll get the brush out of the way. There we go. So you just sort of get your ArmorFlex to sort of fit the form so that you then know what to cut. And the RAM is right there. Yeah, that's where the RAM is. So that means I'm going to be cutting it to here. Then you might want to put a mark on it with something. Pen is good. Obviously, you can just stab it too. So I'll just stab it. There. So now I know that I need to cut out this, and I need to cut it to there, which doesn't matter because, you know, having an overhang won't make a difference. So, there we go. That's where I stabbed it. Right, and just cut it straight up. This actually has a really thin socket area. There we go. So now I got my piece of ArmorFlex, and now I just need to get a hole for the CPU in it and cut off the top part, because obviously that's not getting used. This isn't quite as form-fitting as it could be, but once it gets crushed by the pot, it'll fit pretty well, and plus I have a thicker part right here, so I think I'll cut off the top thin part. Alright, just sort of get that on there. Yep, that's good. And then you can obviously cut out little more strips just to fill up any gaps you left. Let's get that CPU imprinted in there. There. There, and now we have a good CPU imprint, and we just cut out right there with a knife. So we'll put the board out of the way for a bit. Let's get this stuff cut out. And you want to cut out a little extra because obviously your CPU also has a socket around it, and that didn't imprint at all. Obviously, a box cutter might be better for this than a Swiss Army knife, but, you know, it still works. Now just get it stabbed right through, right? And just go straight through along the lines it's sort of traced. There we go. That's one. This is slowly gonna go there. And you don't have to worry about this lifting up the liquid nitrogen pot. Those usually weigh like a good kilo or more. Well over a kilo. This one's probably 1.5. I don't remember what the weight is. Currently, the biggest and heaviest one you can have is a 2.2 or 2 kilo monstrosity. There. Ta-da! So let's just fit this right around the CPU. There. See? And that's sort of how you want to get it. As you can see, it's sort of form-fitting. Once the LN2 pot comes down on it, it'll crush it out and get it to fit properly. So now let's get to continue on with the process. Yeah. And this is the sort of area I meant when I said you can cut off a little bit extra. So now I'm going to take that extra piece I had, which I put here, and I'm just going to trim off a very thin strip, right, to put right there. And it doesn't really have to be the right size, really, so there, I'll get it there, and yeah, and there, see? And that'll just crush right in there, and that'll keep the CPU's edge happy, hopefully. There. So yeah, that's how you get your ArmorFlex on your motherboard. And that's basically the entirety of my installation for the CPU area. So now let's get to the mounting hardware. So I'm using a Der Bauer LN2 Pot. And so it comes with a nice big plastic, I'm not sure what this is exactly, back plate and a top aluminum hold-down bracket, which is anodized. Alright, so we're just going to use the backplate for now. And it comes with a whole bunch of mounting rods that go through the motherboard. So there are liquid nitrogen pots which are much, much simpler and cheaper than this one to mount. But this is also one of the best pots you can get. If you want a cheaper pot, you can go look at EK makes a liquid nitrogen pot called the Inflection Point. That's a pretty good pot, and it also has much simpler mounting hardware than this. This is some of the most ridiculous you can get. There. So yeah, you just use your AMD holes. So pop it through. It's one rod. And you get a whole bunch of little metal nuts with these, so you can just use 2 of them to keep that properly in place. Obviously the back of the motherboard is insulated, so you don't really have to worry about shorting anything out. And then you get 1 nut from the top, which, if you had thought about the procedure, would have been easier if you just put it on the bottom. So that's what I'm gonna take off the first one, because I don't want to go screwing the nut from the top there. Pull this off, get it through, just put it up a little, there, get it up a little more, and put on the nuts at the bottom. For now, I'll just go with 1 on both ends, and you just hand tighten them for now. And I got the wrong hole, didn't I? Yep, I did. Damn it. There. So I should do this one. The correct one here. Ta-da! Let's just get another hole through. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to push the plate right through the mounting holes and straight through the ArmorFlex. So, yeah. That's a little. There we go. Another nut. And yeah, you can buy all of the supplies for this kind of stuff from Der Bauer, but that's kind of expensive. And if you're in America, then he's not available for you because, well, shipping would be a problem because he's in Germany, and everything he ships is from Germany. So yeah, in Europe it's a good option, but otherwise in America I'm not sure. You can go with Kingpin. Kingpin cooling, and yeah, that's about it. I think you can also probably get EK from some stores and stuff, but if you want directly from the makers, then in Europe it's easier to get it. It's kind of funny. There we go, because usually in Europe everything is unavailable. So now is the last rod. Let's get it through. There. That's your base, and let's get this through the board. So first, let's take off the ArmorFlex. We're going to snap the ArmorFlex onto it later. For now, we're just going to push it right through. Now the problem with these being so freaking long is that they don't actually align that well. So this is a little bit more. There we go. Finicky than for there. Alright. And this lifts your motherboard up relatively high up off the table, so that's why I'm not bothering with using a test bench or anything. Also, I don't have a test bench to use. And now, throw on some plastic O-rings, and you put on more little nuts at this point, which sucks. Oh yeah, and I don't have 4 of those. Oh well. I don't have 4 of the same plastic O-rings. I think I'm using those as spares from some other boards. So there's some black ones. There we go. Drop this one over here. Damn it, I'll take care of that later. So yeah, now you just put nuts on that too. And this part is long and boring, and you don't really have many options to do it differently. And this is just to make sure that your plate is placed. So luckily these nuts go relatively easily, but yeah, this is going to take some time. And it looks like it loosened up to the bottom. Yeah, it did. This is going to take forever. There we go. It's finally at the bottom. No, I had the motherboard tilted. There we go. That'll hopefully keep it in place. There, yeah, and the back did sort of make a mess. Black O-ring fell off. Great. There we go. Got it. And I'll do this in a cross fashion, so yeah, and you just do this so that it holds your mounting stuff straight, because if you get your pressure wrong on the pot, then everything goes. Like, your CPU doesn't get as cold as it can, and this is an AMD, so with AMDs, you don't really have to worry about core temperature. So I still don't have a working thermometer that can measure down to liquid nitrogen temperatures, which is annoying to say the least, but since I only bench AMD hardware, it doesn't really matter. Because with AMD stuff, it's just like, if it's really, really cold, it'll go faster. With the older Intels, so like Haswell, you can't just do that. They stop working at around -140 or -150. My thermometers only go down to -140, so obviously I can't seriously do Intel, but I can do AMDs because AMDs don't stop working even down to -250 or lower. Of course, Kaveri and Godavari do stop working, the 28 nanometer, but Phenom 2s, FX chips, the 6000 series APUs, and the 5000 series APUs, and everything basically made on 32 nanometers from AMD doesn't break under liquid nitrogen. You can just sort of keep cooling it and keep cooling it and it'll work. There we go. Just 2 more screws left to go. And after that, I'm just going to push the ArmorFlex right over this. This one's loose again. Oh, oops. Oh, damn it, I forgot one more. I forgot one step. Oh well, I'll just pull it off like this. So you also put ArmorFlex on the back of your motherboard, and I forgot to do that, so yeah, and that's there also to prevent like overly generous ice buildup, so it's actually pretty important to do. So I'm just going to pull this off right now. That took forever to do. There we go. Oh well. Yeah, and for the back, you can go with pretty much any size you want. I prefer using something thinner. This is the same old ArmorFlex I used for FM2, so this is sort of what it'll look like after it's been used. I'm not going to use this again. I'm going to go get some new one. There we go. There it is. Alright, this is basically the same size as the motherboard, so I'm not going to even bother with adjusting this or anything. I'm just going to cut this part off and throw it on the back of the board. Whoop. There we go. Alright, and this way the motherboard has something to sit on that'll keep it warm, well, away from freezing itself on the bottom. So yeah, and I'll just get these screwed on properly, because otherwise this will be a massive pain. Some people are probably wondering, when will he actually pump the liquid nitrogen? Well, this is why I said this stream is going to be so This stream is actually the longest stream I'm doing yet, and that's because liquid nitrogen takes a lot of time, because if you do something wrong, then your whole system's dead. So yeah, and I'm already sort of rushing through it. Like, this is not perfect. If I wanted to do this perfectly, I'd have the whole board insulated and... to the bottom. And you know what, I think I'll do the other one in reverse. I'll pull it out, attach it that way. There we go. These all nice and tight, but they hold. Go, and I'll just do this one in reverse. So I'll pull it out. Alright, pull it out, push it through. So I'm going to give myself some leeway on this end. Push it through. And as you can see, it's clearly way longer than all the other ones, so I'm going to get it in line with the length of the other ones, sort of, after I get the screw on. I mean, the nut on. Come on. Damn it, this end seems to be broken. There we go. Ta-da. Okay, so we got the back done, we got the... So let's put the ArmorFlex right on. And you literally just force it right over it. Alright, so you just stand the board up. Like this. And you just force the ArmorFlex through. Done. 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 See? And that'll keep the back of the board from building up ice. Well, more ice than necessary, because this is still built up ice. If you can keep down the ice amount to a minimum, it's good. Go. Doesn't seem like, seems like I don't have enough of the rods through for this. Just hand tighten it. Obviously, the ArmorFlex will deform a lot if you need it to, so this should be just fine. Go. It's 2 on. Okay, last. I'll get some of the rod through. Go. That's all good. Yeah, and so that's the back of the motherboard basically done. One last nut, and it's good to go. Alright, and so that's the back of the motherboard done. Alright, looks like this. Got our ArmorFlex covering everything nice and safe. I'm going to have to get that VRM heatsink on and the chipset heatsink on, so I'm going to do that now. So with the VRM heatsink on this motherboard, it is, like, you can mount it in both directions, but in one of them your CPU connector won't fit. So don't screw it up. Go. Now at this point, the heatsink really, like, it's significantly reduced in function, and it might not even be necessary because the liquid nitrogen will probably keep the VRM frozen. But, you know, just for good measure. There. That's the bottom screw hole. Let's get that one. With all the ArmorFlex in the way, but there we go. It's aligned. Stop bending, damn it. Oh, this isn't aligned. There we go, got the screw in. Screw it on. That's the VRM heatsink back action. There. I'm going to do that chipset one. This one, luckily, is reversible and doesn't matter which way you do it. Let's get one. Yeah, and I could probably apply new thermal paste, but oh, what the hell. Let's do that. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, this is that thermal gum stuff that they use. It's not thermal paste that's on there. Let's see, generic thermal paste, this one. So yeah, I just have a box of random thermal pastes that I have. Just put a tiny little dab of it. There. That's way too much. Tiny little chip, way too much thermal paste. Oh well. Doesn't matter. Even if this was conductive, it doesn't matter at this point. Because we got plastic dip everywhere. And this board's going to be safe regardless of what you do to it at this point, basically. If you went really overboard with the plastic dip, you could probably run a motherboard submerged in water. ASRock actually had motherboards that were sort of capable of doing that. They actually had a demo at some expo where they had a motherboard running with water just going right over it. And I'm not going to get that hole. Seriously? No, it's over here. There. So that's the motherboard reassembled. Now I'm kind of happy I didn't cut out so much ArmorFlex for the CPU area. Also, if you were paranoid, you could probably just plastic dip the CPU socket too, but that's a little bit excessive. Dielectric grease also works. You can use that. That's used for Intel sockets. Intel is a lot harder to insulate. Let's see, so which way did this go? I'm probably not going to nail that CPU on there. Go. Right, so I'm... Okay, let's hope I got this right. Oh. I hate this part. Never know if I'm gonna... nailed it. There. So, let's get this. Makes it spread out. The arm is nice and warm, so that's good. It's also good. We do have a few extra screws in here. So now, at this point, we're getting much closer to the actual LN2 Pot at this point. So here's what I'm going to do now. That's all good stuff down into that area. So now all I need is toilet paper. Why toilet paper? Well, it absorbs more moisture, so toilet paper. You can also use kitchen wipes and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, but I have toilet paper on hand, so that's what I'm going to use. I only use it for cleaning off thermal paste. Any of you thinking about what you're probably already thinking about? Let's see. That's about right. this through. Perfect. This one through. Funnily enough, toilet paper is more resistant to puncture than ArmorFlex. That's one strip. Alright, and that's just going to absorb any moisture that sort of falls into this area. Get some more. And yeah, you want to use some decent toilet paper for this, because there's that cheap crap one that you can use, but that's not going to absorb any water, and you're going to have a hard time. Go. I have a little bit of excess on the RAM side there. Yeah, okay, didn't nail that. That one didn't work out quite as well as the other one. There, a little bit too much here and a little bit too much there. 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 And I'm using 2 pieces for each of these, so there. Please tell me I got the right amount this time. Nope, again too much towards the CPU. So yeah. Hold it over under there. So that I can put a fan on the arm heatsink, even though I don't think the heatsink's going to be doing anything for the rest of this video. There. And now just one last piece on the RAM side, and for this I'm just going to use 1 piece because I can fold it in on itself. And get it even more on the edge. There we go. Pull it all the way down. There. Now we can actually get to the LN2 Pot. Not. Now we get this giant ArmorFlex tube. As you can see, it's already imprinted from a previous mount. Yeah, this was also AMD FM2 that time. Just get that nice and fitted. So yeah, that'll fit right. And let's apply some thermal paste. Now, a lot of you might be like, oh, use dot method. No, 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 no. For this, you want to spread it out yourself, because if you get the mounting wrong and your pot's not good. So I'm just using some EK paste. There are pastes that are very good for liquid nitrogen. Unfortunately, I completely ran out of that, and they don't sell them here. See, I wonder if I did completely run out. This one's empty. And you stuck and this is not empty. So I could actually use this. Right, I'll actually use this. So yeah, GC Extreme from Gelid, that's like a really popular liquid nitrogen paste. There's NTH1 from Noctua, also works really well. Yeah, and basically there's also Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut, which was designed specifically for LN2 use. Let's get this stuff off. Yes, I'm just using toilet paper. Bloody lint-free league. Thermal paste really isn't that much of a science. It's either your thermal paste is good or it's crap, and you don't have enough of it. And like, yeah, it doesn't make that much. Like, as long as it covers the whole CPU, you won't see that much of a temperature difference. So let's get some thermal paste on there. Now I'll spread it out. See, do I have more? There. And sure, it may look like a lot, but because of the method of spreading the thermal paste I use, I actually end up with a very fine layer on there. So yeah, I just use this thing to spread it out. Just clean this off. After this, let's go. Let's get this nice and spread out. Yeah, and as you can see, I already removed the majority of the excess. Get this out of the way for now. Put that back. Just get spread it out. First in one direction, then spread it out in the other two directions. There. And let me just finish it off. That is so far not the best thermal paste job I've done ever. Yeah, I don't have enough space to work in there. There we go. Not the best job I've ever done. Yeah. It is. Okay, that looks respectable. So yeah, that's what it looks like once I'm done with the thermal paste. Alright, and now we can just pop the pot on. Get this stuff out of the way. Put this little bit back where it came from. Right there. Like that. And now we're just going to put the pot on there. So yeah, this is it. I'll just check that the base is clean one last time. And usually you would, the LN2 pots usually come with a little hole for a thermocouple. As I said, I don't have a thermometer that can actually measure down to LN2 temperatures, so I'm not going to be using one. There. Okay, that's nice and stuck. Let's get that ArmorFlex tube on top of it. There, and that'll keep any excess moisture from building up on the pot itself. And the VRM heatsink is actually in the way here. And let's get this on top. Yeah, and this part's hard. You're gonna have to pull, like, you gotta crush the ArmorFlex here a lot because these rods get pushed out way up by it. There. There. That's nice and on there. Now you just pop on some more O-rings, right, to protect your mounting hardware from getting scratched up and ugly. And let's put springs. There. Let's just tighten this up. Nice big nuts. These are really easy to apply. Start building out already. Alright, I already have spring. This there we go. That's the CPU basically done. Now I just need to tighten these down to an extent. Just get them. Just keep tightening them. You're going to crush the ArmorFlexer law, because you need to get this down to the point where it's actually touching the pot. It currently isn't. Yeah, the pot is kind of springy, so that means there's space under it. Keep tightening. Yeah, basically once the red plate stops moving downwards, you know you've hit where the pot actually starts. Like, because it has that, like you saw, the lip has a shape to sort of connect to this well. I don't need any extra light right now, so turn that off for now. It's down all the way. That kind of looks like the springs are maxed. Yeah, the springs are going to be maxed out completely. There we go. Now, just because the springs are maxed out doesn't mean they have all the same pressure applied to them, because there's slight variances between the springs, but at least this way I don't know there's no major difference between any of them. That's a nice mount. Ta-da! That's all nice and mounted and solid. So now let's get to the memory slots. For the RAM, you'll have to look down again a little, and for RAM, I have a really simple method, which again, I just copied everything, all of my methodology from Der Bauer. So basically, I just go and put electrical tape right over the RAM slots. I'm going to be benching with 2 sticks. So I do plan to only do like a top frequency round first, and then maybe sine bench or something. There we go. First, you just make sure that you have a strip of electrical tape the right length. And I'll just stick it right on already. Right? And there, that's the right length. Now get the scissors. And the cool thing is, electrical tape, like this strip, is basically 2 slots already. So you can just, I'm just gonna hang it off the edge of the pot here again, and now I'll just cut it exactly down the middle, and I'll cover up 2 RAM slots. 1 on each channel. I think I didn't get the strips quite the same size on both. Yeah, I didn't. This one's slightly thinner. Doesn't matter. Keep that one there for now. Just get this channel first. Right, and you just cover up the memory slot that you're not going to be using. That. Just cover it right up. And that way water can't get into it. Now let's get that other slot, which I should have done before. Oh, this is going to be painful. I'm going to mount this though. Get toilet paper out of the way. Obviously, if the toilet paper was in the RAM slot, that would suck, because any condensation that got onto the toilet paper would get to the RAM slot. Can't have that. And yeah, just had to try to force it in there. There we go. That's nice and covered. Whoops, got the paper on this one. Now let's install the RAM sticks. He's absolutely safe. And then once we have the RAM sticks, it's more toilet paper for the RAM, and that's done. So today I'll be using Ripjaws X G-Skill. Yeah, they're not color matched. Nobody cares. These are 1600 888, but I've taken them up to 2133.9, 11.9. They can go above that too. I haven't pushed them that far yet. Yeah. And we just stuff toilet paper down between the RAMs to make sure that they can't short out on anything. So again, the toilet paper is just about the right size, so you're going to just need one piece per slot. And you fold it over a bunch of times, and then you stuff it in with a flat tip screwdriver, right? Just like flat point. Get this one in here. Yep. And you stuff this between the RAM slots. So yeah. Let's get that right down there. There. And that should keep your RAM safe for a battery session. There we go. Nice and stuff it in there. You really kind of need to force it. Yeah, so that's one slot. It's one connection done. So yeah, obviously that one was with plasti dip. I left out a little bit at the end, so I'll just rip off a little piece of toilet paper and just shove that in there as well through the back. You don't want it too thick to be able to get it in. So go. That goes in right there. There we go. And that should stop any condensation in the RAM area. And keep all the RAM happy for the duration of the nitrogen session. Obviously, the better way would be to just use a syringe with liquid, plasti dip in it or liquid electrical tape, and then you obviously get a better fix. But this is one other method that you can use if you don't have that. So I'll just keep using this part. Why the hell not? This will be enough. And actually, this might be a little pointlessly too much. There. Okay, nice. Slot it just right in. And go down the middle and just push it in there. That didn't fill up the whole slot, so I'll go and add more in the top again. There. Go. Ta-da. That's one. Let's get that other one also. Gotta fold it over to get it to properly fit in there. Like really force fold it. There we go. That one just about enough. This one screwed up here. Come on, get in. Or is it too much? Unfold. Let's see. Okay, that can be forced in there. There we go. Obviously, if you really wanted to, you could also just use liquid electrical tape with your RAM sticks installed and just go over everything. And that would also sort of capture your RAM sticks with electrical tape so you couldn't remove the RAM, but depending on what you want to do, that might be what you're aiming for. So yeah, that's also a final option if you don't have a syringe and you don't feel like using toilet paper like this. So there. That's that. Now we'll put some electrical tape on this side of the RAM so that it doesn't get any water on there. Where did the electrical tape go? Down here. Yeah, I'll just get it like that. And there. And I'll keep it all nice and safe from water. There. That's all of the RAM nice and secured. I'll just add a little piece in the bank through here. There doesn't seem to be quite enough there. So, yeah. And actually, I still need more, so I'll just pull off the chunk. And let's get that in there. One doesn't want to go. Just get in there. Good. Kind of screwed up my electrical tape in the area. There. Oh, good. So that's all insulated now. Let's go throw it on and start it up. Whoa, this is heavy. Oh yeah, just sorry for the camera work. I don't have a cameraman as usual, so ta-da! Let's get this on here. Let's just get it on the edge of here, and pop the graphics card in. Get the hard drive hooked up. Oops, wrong cord. Get this one in here. This one on the drive. Let's get this started. And I'll just start it without any liquid nitrogen just to check that everything still works. And the pot has a lot of thermal capacity. Alright, so that's the system. This has a lot of thermal capacity, so even if I start it up, it'll be fine for, like, say, a minute before it gets way too hot. Oh yeah, and the graphics card, this is an R7 260X. I'm not going to be benchmarking any 3D stuff, so I'll just use this. And we'll need some fans to reduce the amount of condensation that builds up on the motherboard. Because if you just get airflow, that also helps a lot. So if you're like benching dry ice or something, or like phase change, if you get a really good airflow, you can in theory just bench without any kind of insulation. But I've never seen anyone do that yet. So yeah, that's that. That's connected. Oh yeah, and here's my A pin. I'm going to put a current clamp just so you, on the 12 volts, so just so you can see how much power the system draws doing this. I'm going to get the pot to you, like that. Alright, and get my current clamp. This is my current clamp. So let's just set it to 40 amps, and pop it on here. And basically whatever value on there times 12 is the power draw of the CPU. And I don't know if I can put it somewhere so that it stays there. There we go. So right now it's not reading anything because there's nothing there. There. Okay, that'll stay in place. Goody. Power supply on. Let's hook up the display cable. Fortunately, my display cable isn't quite long enough. Now. This is what I get for running for the... Alright, I'm gonna see if I can fix the camera. Sorry about not noticing it for that, for that long. Come on. Camera controller. What camera? Controls. Damn it. Autofocus. Okay, there. Now it's in focus. No, the problem is the preview for the stream that I'm watching is way smaller than the actual stream, so it looks in focus even if it's blurry as hell. Sorry about that. Yeah, also I'm not streaming from my usual system, so yeah, really sorry about all the terrible focus for the duration of the stream. Up till now. Hey, at least you have the interesting part in focus. I'll just swap this monitor over to DVI. Oh, damn it, monitor. Let's hope this actually even starts up. And I'll get the little jumper switch for the power button. There we go. There we go. Got my jumper. So, oh, and slow mo's on it right now, so I'll keep that off. And which one of you is power? Power switch. Seriously? JBF1, U. There we go. Let's see. I'll just plug in the fan for the GPU. Don't want that not working. And one last thing, I needed some system fans to keep the thing from. Where did I put them? Damn it! I always put stuff. Can't find it. How on earth do I lose a 120 mil fan? No, these are too slow. Whoa, I'm good at this. Well, damn, how did I do that? What on earth? Nothing there. No. Oh, there we go. That's where I put him. Yeah, so just to keep the system from building up condensation, I'll be using some JetFlow Cooler Master fans. And one of them is going to be powered by the motherboard, and the other one I'm going to have powered off of a like a separate 12-volt power supply that I built some time ago. So that'll keep the whole system. Right, gotta get this one. All right, yeah, and I'm just dangling them off of the pot, so there. And they're all going to be run at 12 volts full time, so yeah. And let me just get the extra power supply for the fans. That way. Okay. Ta-da! Oops, sorry about knocking the camera, but I'm gonna get this fan hooked up. Done. There, so that's good. That's running. Yeah, and I'll just dip it a little bit of nitrogen right now so that it doesn't just heat up right off the bat. Right, so most people would use a thermos for their liquid nitrogen container. I don't have a thermos on hand for this. Whoa. Yeah. Whoa. I think I missed the system. Oh, well, that's not too bad. I'm going to find some paper to keep the nitrogen in check. Let's see. Old school papers, that'll work. There. That's just to funnel the nitrogen in there. Actually, that'll probably blow right out. Damn it. I never actually dangled this many times, have I? Try this one. Give myself some space to work with. Yeah, so the pot's cold already. That's good, and the nitrogen stopped boiling. That's nice. Great, okay, so that'll be fine. And I'll give it just a slight more before I even start it. There we go. Let's start this baby up. Is this power supply even on? No, power supply's on. I want to boot. Oh wait, I'm not. Don't have the connector on, right? That would have been scary if this didn't work. There. All its horribly loud glory starts. And as you can see, the BIOS works, and I forgot to get a keyboard for this. Let's quickly put one in there. CPU or memory change? Yes, good to know. We'll wait for it to get out of the way. Oh, that's wet. Yeah, that's where the liquid nitrogen container was standing, so quickly wipe that off. Oh, I'm on glass. That'll suck. Get some more space on the desk. Okay, pot's cold, so that's nice. Right, keyboard. And plug that in to USB 2.0. There, that's one. And where's the mouse? Serious thing, I need to lose that already. There. So there. Let's look up the mouse. One. There we go, so that's your MSI BIOS. And as you can see, which actually you can't see because camera work is terrible. Wait, I wonder if this... I'll have to juggle the camera a little. Sorry. Come on. Any more cable? Can you sort it? No, you can't. Damn it. I really should get more cameras for this kind of work. And that fan just popped off. Damn it. This cable's really heavy. I can't get you any... Well, maybe I can. Wait, gotta get this up so that you can actually see what I'm doing. Sorry! Camera work is the worst. There we go. And back on the tripod. Sorry about that, needed to move the camera. There. And let's get it to the... Yeah, so CPU's already hitting 16C now. I'm actually going to get the chair out of the way, since I'll just be standing for the rest of this. Probably going to be running back and forth for liquid nitrogen. So, there we go. extra tripod to see everything. Oh. Ta-da! There we go. So yeah, you can see the CPU temperature, 18 degrees. I'm just going to give the pot a splash of nitrogen right now. Come on. Nope, not through there. Oh, this got stuck. Lol. There we go. So the pot's full right now, and you'll see the temperature just fall right off. Alright, so the system right now looks like that. So I just filled up the pot, and we're already at, like, temperature's already dropping. You know what? Stay here for a sec. I'm gonna go get a extra camera and wire it up so you can watch the monitor the whole time. So I'll be back in a bit. Sorry. Okay, I'm back. The system's not on fire now. Sorry about that. Okay, I'll get a second stream right up and second video feed, and everything will be good. There we go. This camera is too small. Whoa. And too light. There we go. There's sort of add video, no. Add video capture device. Mini cam. Okay. Ta-da! There. So now you can look at the BIOS from the worst angle ever. I'll fix that up a little. There. Okay, I need to get that lifted. Millions of boxes. Do I not use? There. Sorry. Sorry more. Done. You can sort of see the BIOS. Ta-da! And you can also sort of see this system, so I'll just edit the scene quickly. And like, how big I should keep them, shove it over here. Oh. There, that looks mostly acceptable in my opinion. Sorry about that. So, yeah, system's at 14 degrees. That's all good. I'm gonna go play with the BIOS now. And then it keeps freezing on from here. Juice. There we go. So, thank God BIOSes are so huge. There we go. So first up, settings. Settings. System. Boot. Okay, that all looks good. So let's start overclocking. So first up, I'm just going to do a frequency run. So manual CPU core control, and I'll disable everything except, well, I'll disable all the cores except the last two. So that'll allow me to run much higher frequency. I'll leave the DRAM on auto for now. Actually, no, I'll underclock it just in case I want to play. So 1066. The RAM's rated at 1600. Right. CPU voltage. So yeah, this board and the offset voltage. I'm going to get the connectors on this. CPU's getting warm again, so I'll dip more nitrogen. Whoop. Should cool back down soon. Right. I think these. So I'll just set up my voltage sensing so that you can somewhat see it. I think, wait, if I get it on the wires, wait, there, now you can see the voltage. So set this to 2 volts, and let's hook it up to the CPU. And I'll just use, you know, screw terminals for that. CPU's happy, temperature's low. Getting capped yet? Yeah, just getting the screw terminal to lock on these thin wires is a pain. There we go. So that one's locked. Let's see. Oh, this is the back one. That would make life easier. Alright, so as you can see, clearly not reading anything. I just try to do this. That's captured. Okay, I'll get this one the right way around. There we go. How's the CPU doing? CPU is doing fine for now. We need more juice. There, and as you can see, we're reading 1.15 volts. So let's see what maximum offset does to this. So maximum offset on this motherboard is about plus 0.6 volts. So that's way too much for now, so I'm just going to start on plus 0.4. So that should get us about 1.5 volts. Let's save and exit, which, no. Oh, this motherboard is going to kill me one day. Save and exit. Save changes and reboot. Yes! That's what I want. Okay, so I'll fill up more nitrogen into the piece of crap I'm using to pour it. Yeah, so as you can see, I have 2 installs of Windows as always. These are both benching installs, and the system obviously needs more juice. So I'll go keep it. There we go. And we're in Windows. Let's get this started. So I said I want to, first of all, mouse works. Why doesn't keyboard work? Keyboard broken? Oh, keyboard broke. There. Oh, come on, keyboard. So yeah, but we're getting 1.6 volts. So that's why I said this motherboard is freaking stupid for benching, because I have no idea what voltage it's running at. Still can't type. Damn it. Luckily, we're only not running 2 cores so well, so I don't have to worry about anything overheating right now too much. There, it's still cold. Still can't type. Do I seriously need a new keyboard right now? Oh my god. See, the motherboard won't die, the CPU won't die, the keyboard will. It's like my curse whenever trying to do anything. I had DisplayPort cables die on me. Freaking, like, DisplayPort cables. Just straight up die when I was benchmarking. It was just retarded, right? So I thought the CPU was dead or something. Nope, DisplayPort cable died. Horrible. So now I need to get, oh, just use this thing. USB extender I have, and put that into a USB, and get the Apple keyboard on this. And, okay, the system's still happy. Oh, I'm gonna have to give it more juice. Woo, overfilled it. And right, keyboard. I have like a million spare of everything. Let's get this thing. Oh. Well, the system just restarted. 7 covered. Still keep this normal. And I'll just keep it full now because I just want to take it down all the way. There. Yeah, 1.6 volts. There we go. Okay, keyboard works now. Though the monitor is crapping out. Really, nothing can work at the same time. So the random flashing that the monitor is doing, that's just what it... What the hell? Okay, so this keyboard's not doing much better than the last one. The monitor just does this all the time on its own. I don't know why. There we go. That's one of my benchmarking operating systems, so let's go straight for this, and here it's going down again. AMD, so I'm just going as low as we can go on the temperature. I'm going to get MSI Commander on down onto this. I wanted to do that before the stream started, but didn't get the time. And this monitor needs to stop failing on me. I really don't get it. It works with one HDMI port. It doesn't work with me. There, stay like that. Don't. What the hell am I even doing? I walk 5 meters away from it and it stops working like, completely. No, I want to restart later. That's basically just telling me new GPU drivers installed. Okay, well, it's going to restart. Damn it. I really don't know what's wrong with that monitor, but it's just been doing that for ages and ages now. So you'll have to forgive me. I can't fix it. System service exception. Had that before. I think that's related to the fact that the ice suit's on that install, and it's been crashing ever since. Let's see. Oh, and now it's not flashing anymore. That's interesting. Hopefully with the GPU drivers it'll just start working now. I'll probably lower the resolution anyway, because I think the monitor cable or something is going bad again, so. Or the port. Whoa. Well, that's nice. Oh, that's dying again. Let's hope it lasts long enough for me to open up CPU-Z. Screen resolution. And I'm just going to crank it down so I can actually see what I'm working on. Apply. Key changes. Okay, well, sorry, but you're going to have to put up with this because, like, due to the way this is set up, I'm not going to be otherwise able to see on the monitor. So, okay, let's get CPU-Z opened up. And let's see, is there any entries in this? Nope, this is empty. So that's great. Need more. There we go. And now that the thing I'm using to contain the nitrogen's cooled down, I'm not going to be wasting so much. I'm just opening the windows. And there seems to be some still in there. So yeah, we're at 4 gigahertz right now. I'm just going to go get the plastic with SI Commander on here. There. And let's open that up. And where's my? Yeah, MSI Command Center. I'm just going to install that. Run. Run. Okay. What the hell? Okay, I'm just going to use the other install. Tried to get this one working before the stream, but looks like it's still broken. Oh, let's get into the BIOS. So yeah, CPU temperature is completely bugged in the BIOS at this point. And it's not much I can do about it because I don't have a thermometer that goes this slow. I mean, I could maybe throw a thermometer like into the sort of CPU area, but that still wouldn't tell us much. I'm just gonna go OC. Let's crank up that frequency. So just CPU port clock, and let's just go right down to. Let's see if this will probably start right at 5 gigahertz. So let's go right off the bat for 5, and save and exit. Save changes and new groups. Yes. It's really cold. There. Not better. There. And that's starting up again. And I'm just going to keep going into the BIOS for now. Oh well, whatever. I'll get into the BIOS, start Windows. Yeah, and I really want to see if this CPU. What? No, don't do that. Don't check. 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 Oh, come on. Seriously? Seriously, why? Oh. So the keyboard decided to crap out again, and so I have to sit through this. You know what? I'm not doing that. I don't even care. Screw you. You're gonna do what I say. Like, that Windows install has no business being broken, so I don't care. No check disk for it. Please tell me this keyboard still works. Yeah, still works. So yeah, we're already at 5 gigahertz. Oh. Let's get 6. I'm gonna go for 6 right now. And I'll give it more voltage because we're at 1.56. So let's give it 1.57 and 30. There. Save and exit, save changes and reboot. Yes. Oh, this is empty. No, empty again. Windows. Looks like it warmed up. Cold. Nitrogen. Nope. Escape, escape, escape. No, no, don't check disk. Oh. Well, it's checking disk at 6 gigahertz. I guess that's an achievement. Oh. Oh. Now we're getting condensation everywhere now. Well, it's got into through 60,000 files already, so I'll let it finish off. There's not that many files on there. It's a 50 gig partition, so it should be done ASAP. Yeah, this will finish soon enough. I wonder if check disk is single threaded, because if it is right now, it's pretty happy about the 6 gigahertz. Probably is. I mean, it's running in what, like, essentially DOS. So board's still happy. Look at the VRM doing. Oh, VRM's warm. 80% finish already. You're wasting my nitrogen. I wanted to do sign bench today. So yeah, I already had a 6 gigahertz CPU. I took a 750K to 6 gigahertz. I have so somebody's asking what Fury I have. I have the Sapphire one. Yeah, I have a Sapphire one. That's correct. Whoever just asked. Check this. Sure. I need help for Spirit. Come on, please, please work. Don't tell me the pulse too warm. Well, that just blew the screen for some reason. I think it's not cold enough. get more nitrogen. Oh no, it's cold enough. But I need more nitrogen. Cold juice incoming. And now we're starting to get some serious ice buildup. Gonna ease it in there. There we go. So Windows is up and running. That's good. And this is bench hard. And bench hard is my old benchmarking partition. But it looks like it's the only working one. There we go. That's the right password, I hope. Ah, it is the right password. Goody. So much smoke here. Yeah, these jet flow fans are doing an excellent job right now. I'm really happy with them. They push a lot of air. Okay. And again, restart later. Ah, got through that part. So let's get CPU-Z up and running and install MSI Commander. Here. That's a lot of smoke. Mouse doesn't want to work. Close the program. Whoa, it's cold behind me. That just boiled off really quick. Yeah, it seems like the CPU is actually kind of putting on some heat now. Where's CPU-Z? Why is it not? I really don't know what's wrong with this monitor. Man, that noise. Close the program. Oh, there we go. There's CPU-Z. Finally. See, the problem with this kind of thing is the nitrogen tends to displace a lot of air in your room, so. And I'm in a basement, so I'm kind of, if I start sounding tired, they're like, tell me to stop the stream because I'm probably going to end up passing out, and that would be bad. And do we have 6 gigahertz? Ah, we do have 6 gigahertz. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to get the resolution up again so that you can actually see it. The screen. Now there's nitrogen in that. There we go, finish that off. That screen is going to kill me one day. Yeah, that monitor. I need a bigger budget. You know, it's really weird. I use that monitor as a secondary all day, every day, and it works. And then I tried to do anything like stream with it or something, and it breaks. Like everything I hooked up to DVI is broken. Come back already. Oh. Oh great, and now the settings are gone again. Seriously, this monitor is the worst thing I've ever used. I think I'm afraid disconnect this. Will that help? Can we stop going all... Okay, so that monitor just got run with 2 inputs or something. Stupid piece of trash. Bye. There we go, let's get this zoomed in a little. Keep changes. There, and as you can see, 6 gigahertz right there. Woo! So let's get MSI Commander installed and see if we can get something higher. CPU is probably too warm right now again. Then center, what? Extract all. I'm just run it. Nothing in there, is there? Yeah, just release now. Run. Okay. Next. Next. Which desktop I can actually do that. Next. Okay, so this is basically MSI's equivalent of AI Suite. Well, no, it's the monitor. It's the monitor. I just disconnected the HDMI cable from it, and it works. I'm still working with the program. Okay, so finished installation. Great. Finish. So let's try see if. No. No. Screw you, Internet Explorer. Right, let's get this out of the way, and once it's on. You have got to be joking. Okay, I'll try restart the system, and I'll try 7 gigahertz from the BIOS. Which is bad because you have to go through Windows boot up, and that's actually a pretty heavy load for. You generally want to try skip Windows boot up if you're going for CPU frequency. It's glorious, this nitrogen blast goes. There we go. Ta-da, BIOS. I wonder if it's trying to show me that the negative temperature is actually high. Let's see what happens if I add more. Will it drop? No, it looks like that sensor is completely bugged out, so I'll just ignore it. So 30 to 35. Wait, it doesn't go above 30. Okay, let's go 32. 6.4 gigahertz, here we come. So this will be the fastest CPU frequency I've run ever. Yes, if it boots. Oh, those crackling noises when the nitrogen kicks in. And looks like we have a failure. So it's either not cold enough or I don't have enough voltage. So, okay, that's broken. I'll try and engage slow mode and see if that fixes things. Not for the board to boot up. To be honest, this is actually a really good frequency. When I was doing my Athlon with the same voltage, I couldn't get this far. Board still won't boot. That's obnoxious. So I'll just turn it off, cool it down some more, and try again. Come on. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Goody. There's still nitrogen down there, just not enough. This should last some time. There, and I'll just let it run like this with no power. I'll take it down to however low it can go. Let's boot this baby back up. 1.7 volts. Then I need the BIOS. Please get to the BIOS. Please do that. Okay, that's completely topped up right now. Okay, the whole pot's right now as cold as it'll go because the nitrogen isn't even boiling like as fast. Like you can see that there's not a lot of water vapor. And it's completely full of nitrogen. So, well, this board is freaking stupid. So I need to reset the BIOS. Where's the jumper for that? That's the one thing I really miss on most motherboards is like I need a reset button somewhere. Should just be a jumper. Speaker, buzz, no. Reset. Power LED, no. Seriously, they don't have a BIOS reset switch somewhere on this stupid thing? Oh, well, battery it is. Oh, this is annoying. Freaking. Yeah! These guys. Oh, man. That's what I get for using a budget board for this. And people wonder why I like motherboard buttons. There we go. So let's pull that out for a couple seconds. So I just pulled the battery. Wait for a bit. That pot is as cold as it's going to get now. Pop the battery back in and boot back up. And more voltage. So last I think I was at something. I'll just take this off for now because I don't need it. I think it was a 0.5 or 0.6 voltage. So now let's go for point. Damn it, boot up. What the hell? Seriously? The monitor breaking again? No. Well, that's odd. I swear that would have wiped the BIOS at this point. Why doesn't it want to boot? It's still at 1.7 volts. The BIOS didn't get wiped at all. This stupid motherboard. Ugh. Seriously. This motherboard. And they put the freaking battery jumper literally right under the graphics card anyway, so it's like, what the hell? I seriously never understand this board. I'm gonna try and move the GPU slot down. Hopefully that'll still boot up. There we go. GPU's in last slot, that way I can get the battery. It's just usually if you, occasionally some motherboards don't work if you move the, like my RAM page doesn't like if you don't run the top slot, so. There, get the fan like that, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna wait a bit longer this time. Thought that would have wiped it. Most boards I've worked with wipe faster than that. Still got nitrogen in there, so that's good. These are wet. Yeah, it depends on the board, but some of them wipe in like 10 seconds flat, and this one doesn't want to wipe at all. Like my RAM page wipes in 10 seconds, and the crappy Gigabyte I'm reviewing wipes in 10 seconds, and the crappy ASRock wipes in 10 seconds, and that crappy Asus wipes in 10 seconds, but this thing, no. Also, it's getting bent. Oh, well, let's hope this starts up. Go. No, it's still at 1.7 volts. What the hell? Okay, I'm going to try something. I'm going to pull the batteries, try start the system up. That's going to drain the caps, and hopefully that'll get it to wipe. Because that's usually the problem. There's a capacitor for everything on these things. And if they hold any power, they're going to keep stuff alive. So let's see. Power switch. Wipe out. Oh, at least the pot's cold. That's nice. Now it's not going to boot because the GPU is in the wrong slot, and I'm going to be just sitting here debugging the system under cold for ages. Oh, there we go. Huh? What the hell is... Okay. Seriously, it's at back 1.69. Does this board just not wipe its BIOS or something? Oh. Like, seriously. God damn it. How is it that I can't get the damn BIOS to wipe? Pull the battery, try boot it now. No, it still remembers. Make sure this doesn't turn off anytime soon. This board, seriously. I swear that's a BIOS wipe jumper, so I'm going to try it shot. 2, 3. Yeah, just trying to short out the BIOS wipe. Damn it. You know what, I'm just going to wait more. I got all day. Well, no, I've got still plenty of nitrogen left, so... Yeah, there's still plenty left, so... Not in a rush. I want to get those 7 gigahertz, though. Da-dee-da, stupid motherboard. I wonder if I have a manual for this thing. There we go. Here's the manual. Nice big book. Let's hope it's actually useful. Oh, some of these things are terrible. Let's try slow mode then. Yeah, so short that out and it'll should forget. Ow, what's cold? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There, hopefully now it'll freaking work. Because there's no way that CPU just died. No way. And yes! No 1.6 volts. It's back at normal settings. And it's still not booting. Seriously. Yeah, I know, I shorted the freaking thing. Damn it. Okay, let's try it without slow mode. Let's hope it's not the bloody graphics card, because it's totally a possibility. Even this connector is now getting cold. Everything's getting cold. Well, the BIOS is finally wiped, so at least that happened, but why on earth it won't start, I can't. I wish this motherboard had a postcode. Like, if they just scrap that, the audio section's fine, but it's like, it's postcodes. Postcodes should just be on everything, because it makes life so much easier. Not when just doing this, but whenever everything, just anytime anything fails. Nope, they're not going to put postcodes on cheap motherboards. That's going to be a premium feature for no apparent bloody reason. I'm going to try to move the graphics card back a bit. Ooh, snow. Oh well. Come on. Graphics card back up. Now it'll freaking work. Now work, damn it. Whoops. Found stuck on something. There. It's nice and good. And it's booting again. Yeah, so that's what I was talking about with graphics card in wrong slot won't boot. And we're back at stock settings with all white cores enabled. So last time 1.7 volts wasn't enough. So let's feed it way more. And also I'll need to get like the DRAM to link. And I'll get the RAM to 1333. And let's see those timings. What? Damn it. Okay, well it does have support for... Well, that is so far the worst memory timing layout I've seen. Oh. Where are the default bloody timings? Oh, I'll just underclock the RAM more. And I'll enable XMP. Yeah, and I'll underclock it. Because if I underclock the RAM into the ground, then it will just run XMP level and CPU voltage. This really shouldn't be a thing on a motherboard. These kinds of menus. I much prefer the whole just type your voltage in thing that most Asus motherboards have. So okay, so this motherboard obviously doesn't go very high on the voltage. So I just pump way too much, like as much as it can. And just ratio. And let's see if it'll do 6400 megahertz. Boom. And let's see if this just straight up boots. What? Motherboard, seriously, what the hell? Oh, I accidentally. Oh. This BIOS layout is really terrible. By far the worst I've seen. I mean, you have your cheap, crappy ASRock motherboards, and their BIOS layout is pretty bad, but at least they have everything in just tabs that you shift through easily, not this stupid menu system. I mean, seriously, BIOSes should be optimized for keyboards. I know you can use a mouse with this, but seriously. And this BIOS could certainly be faster too. And no, can I disable that? CPU smart protection disabled. CPU core control manual. Let's disable all those extra cores. Actually, I can just do this. Boom. CPU North Bridge. Give it a spec more voltage. There. And do that. Yeah, at least that's a normal voltage menu, and I'll just do that 1.75 to make sure that everything still works. Get it to 1333. And there. Turbo core disabled. Core control is good. Okay, this looks all good to me. Settings, save and exit, save changes and reboot. Yes. Please start. Okay, so we're at 1.83 volts. And it looks like it's not happy. And that BIOS jumper buried under stupid freaking everything. Great. So motherboard. So CPU looks like. So it looks like this CPU just straight up isn't capable of 6.4, or I need to try to get 6.4 differently. Let's see, enable slow mode and start. Nitro. Yeah. And yeah. Well, looks like we found the limit of my CPUs. Or I think the 32 multiplier doesn't seem to be working. So I'll try a lower multiplier and try to get there with FSB. Because FX is. I was really hoping for more. I mean, I'm running way more voltage too. Well, not way more. The air from the that comes from the container for the the pot or liquid nitrogen is really dry. Ugh. Looks like it won't reset. .8. It's a 0.8 again, so there. Yeah. There. That's a better shot. There. Well, it's not starting again, so shut it down, reset BIOS, and whoa. Oh, it obviously got warm. There we go, now the pot's down to about minus 196. Yeah, okay. Now that it's stopped evaporating, it means the pot is really, really, really cold. So there we go. So now it's back at minus almost 200. And let's go wipe that bloody BIOS. I hate this board. I really hate this board. Seriously, even in a sure, I'm using liquid nitrogen, so this is kind of worse, but in a normal system, putting your the battery's fine, but why would you put the jumper in the freaking there? Most motherboards have the jumper somewhere, like at least most motherboards I've used up till this one had the jumper on the bottom edge or somewhere else, or they had a button. You know, but no. Put the jumper in the freaking middle of nowhere. Well, under the graphics card, not middle of nowhere. Let's wipe this out. I hope this will wipe out. If I had a single slot card, this wouldn't be such a pain, but yeah, I'm lucky I even have a card to use for this. Without many things to kill. There. Ta-da! And it's there. Right, power this. Let's do it back up. Yeah, we're at 12 voltages again, and everything seems to be happy, and it's not booting. Oh, now it's booting. Okay, so let's try 6.2 since 6.4 obviously doesn't want to run. And the nitrogen is boiling off again. I'll go select. Oops, just dropped. Oh, the screwdriver did. That was just a screwdriver, nothing happened. Ah. This is the most juice I've had in this so far. You know, this is a nice way to end the summer. It was still relatively hot today, so nice way to cool down. Cold blast of air. Okay, let's get into the settings. Last time I have to spend with this file, so happy log be. So yeah, if you're actually considering of doing this doing this kind of thing seriously, get a motherboard you actually like and actually know, and basically just don't get this one. Let's see, I'll try underclock. I'll pull the clock for the HT link down to 1600. I'll put the CPU back at 30. And I'll try 31. Actually, no, 30.5. Drop the north bridge. So north bridge goes up to 4,000 megahertz. I'm gonna run it at the just above HT link, so 1800. CPU smart protection. No need for CPU protection. Core control. Manual. We only want 2 cores, so disable all this crap. Disable turbo core. DRAM frequency. Take that down to 1330. CPU voltage. Maximum. I wonder if there's LLC somewhere in here. Is there? CPU features, cool and quiet. Off. C1E. Okay, that's off already. Disable island, disable 46. No. Disable. All the power saving stuff can go away. That's good. North Bridge. Let's see. 0.22. Plus 0.1. DRAM. That is way too much. Wait, what? Seriously? They put the low voltages at the end of the DRAM table. Okay, 1.75. The south bridge can stay the same. Spread spectrum disabled. Good. Settings now. Let's see. I think I have everything configured correct. Good. Settings. Advanced. Status. Save and exit. Save changes and boot. Yes. And hopefully this will start up at 6.1 gigahertz. Why is it booting low voltage? Well, the pot's still full, so that's odd. There, now it's running the right voltage. That's weird, why didn't it run it before? Oh, there we go. So it looks like the BIOS saving bugged out. Is it even at 6.1 gigahertz? Yes, we have 6.1 gigahertz! So that's already beaten my best ever. My best ever was 6 gigahertz on a 750K. Let's see, what else do we have here? So let's try the next step up and see if it does 6.2. And it looks like the cold is messing with the ability of this BIOS to save, which is annoying to say the least. Yeah, see, it's booting wrong voltage again. It's back at 0.8, which is wrong. Oh, this motherboard, the VRM actually is it looks like a 6 plus 2. It's a 3 plus 1. It's driven by a 3 plus 1. I'll be doing a review of this motherboard. Everything about the VRM will be there. This actually is not that bad a VRM. Not that bad. If you keep it really cold, which mine is really cold, like the heatsink is cold on the VRM. The VRM heatsink on this is cold at this point. Yeah, so this, and we're at 6.2 gigahertz. So yay! Way above what my best ever was. So let's try 2.1. So let's try 6.23. Settings, save and exit. Yes. And no, the CPU isn't binned or anything. So, you know, some FXs get 8 gigahertz, some get 7. And this one probably will be typical Buildzoid fashion, completely crap, and don't go anywhere. Yay, so we have 6.23. Let's keep cranking it slowly up. And I'll just keep going in just increments of 1 on the FSB at this point, because it might not even, like, even if it boots the BIOS, it might not even boot Windows, so... Still booting! Yay! I'll give it more juice. Make sure that it's frozen. What's this fan catching on? Whoops. Okay, yeah, it's moving a little. Should be fine. 6.26. We have all the cores disabled, so let's see this. So 6.29. Yep. Looks good so far. Yes, it's booting. So we're almost at 6.3 gigahertz. Yes! Yes, yes, yes! Oh, looks like that just failed. Please don't. Whoops, spilled it a little. Okay, let's get into Windows and save this. I'm just going to do a CPU Z for this. There we go. Oh crap, I think I have the wrong version of CPU Z on that. Oh, well, whatever. I have another copy on the secondary flash stick. Too bad MSI Commander doesn't work, because then I would have to do everything from the BIOS, and I could do the what's it called? Well, you can do this when you're validating on a motherboard that doesn't suck completely. What you can do is you can boot Windows, right? Low frequency. Then you set your clock and voltage in some software utility, and you do everything from there. And you set your clock and voltage, do your screenshot, and then do your validation, turn off the overclock again. And I'll just keep that as cold of nitrogen as possible. Well, as filled with nitrogen as possible, so that I don't deal with. Did the keyboard just fail? I can't tell, I wasn't looking. Can't touch type. What? Oh, the BIOS says -128. It's completely wrong. The BIOS sensor is completely broken. It's just reading some random crap. The CPU is at -196. You can pretty much, I can pretty much guarantee that. Okay, let's get CPU-Z opened up and validated. Why is the freaking resolution wrong? Oh, right, because Catalyst now works. Okay, so I'll just go into Catalyst and fix that up. But as you can clearly, or not so clearly see, we're at 6.3 almost. And what version of CPU-Z is this even? This is 7.2. Okay, yeah, this is not a valid version to use on hardware bot. So I'll just quickly get the new version from my flash stick. Computer. No, that's control panel. Damn it. Computer. Okay. This flash stick has all my benchmarking stuff, so. Where's CPU-Z? GPU. Damn it, it doesn't have CPU-Z? Oh well, the other install does. Okay, this install does have CPU-Z, that's for sure. Yep, that's GPU. And yeah, CPU, I know CPU-Z. Let's run that. So yeah, there's a new version of CPU-Z which you have to use for any kind of validations for hardware bot. And I'll just pin this program to the taskbar there. Hopefully that'll work. Wait, what? Please work. I mean, the nitrogen is starting to really boil. And I'm empty again. Okay, so that worked. So that booted up. That's the correct version. And now, I can't see anything from over there, so validate. Right, yeah, I need to save it to a file. Desktop management, desktop properties. And could we drive it at 720p? There, so let's drive this at peasant resolution so I can actually see it. Yay, peasant resolution is good for something. 720p with liquid nitrogen. So, yay, 6.292, and actually, if I had AMD Overdrive, I could probably use that for this. So what now? Right, validate. Now, that's what. Save validation, so name, easy 6.29, what? 629 FX 8320E. Email, no. Extremos. Let's save validation file. My desktop. Actually, no, save it to the flash stick. And name it 6-29. There we go. Save. And restart later. Actually, I will change the name to Design, because that way it will actually be save validation file. Just save it. There we go. Okay, that's saved. Let's go back to the BIOS and try again. Try for more. And after this, I'll enable all 8 cores and we'll try some sine bench. Well, that still has nitrogen in it, but it's running out, so I'll go fill it up with more. Oh. Damn, this thing is getting hard to hold. Usually most people use a thermos. But for the same reason I'm using a terrible motherboard, I'm not using a thermos. So yeah. Let's try go higher. Boss. No. Settings, save, exit. Save, change the exit. Yes. Well, I had higher hopes for this CPU. I was hoping for 7 gigahertz, to be honest. But I can't push very high voltage through it, so that's that. I mean, there is a way I could volt mod the motherboard, but at this point, that's too late for that. So, whatevs. And still booting. So it looks like just 32X doesn't work. Keep this as cold as possible. My insulation's doing a good job. Nothing died yet. Windows management. Yeah, no, I'm not having a problem with showing one specific window. I just can't see from where I'm sitting. So, and actually, I'll try and get the stream a little bit better. Sorry. Let's see. There we go. I'll put it here. Yeah, that actually makes more sense to put it down there. There we go. Ta-da! So, there. Oh wait, wrong password. Ah. Yay. So let's get CPU-Z opened up. Close that, 'cause it's broken. I don't get why, but it is. I think it's probably conflicting with AI Suite. I need to get that to stop starting up at startup. So let me just quickly do that. Settings. There. And now it won't start. There we go. Validate. Deploy. I think I spelled that right. Save validation. Save. Yes, I want to replace it. There we go. And let's go higher. I'd really like to get 7, but oh, it doesn't look like it's going to happen today, so that's that. I'd need a better CPU or a better board. Actually, a better board would probably be the better choice. Because what I'm really limited with here is the voltage. FX CPUs stop scaling with voltage at around 1.95. Well, some stop at 1.85, but most of them scale up to 2. So yeah, this board and the relatively low voltage limit and the lack of LLC, because usually you can force the LLC to give you extra voltage, but this board doesn't have any. So that sucks. And that's too small a step. I think it's same as it. Yes. Yeah, it looks like 32X is just straight up bugged and this works fine. I think I can actually push way more from here, so I'm not going to let it get to Windows quite yet. I'm going to see if I can get it to boot up more on the BIOS and then try Windows again. Because I don't feel like saving every single frequency I get right now, because this CPU is at no race. Let's see. Let's put it there. Let's do 6.5. And this is totally fail. Yeah, so 32X just straight up doesn't work. Yeah, see? Still booting. And we're 6.5 gigahertz. Keep pushing it. 7, here I come. Damn it, why is there a bell down here? Alright, so I want 6.6. There. Yes! Still booting! Haha! I'm gonna get 6.7. I'm gonna get 7. I'm getting 7 today. Today was gonna be 7 day. Yes. You know, yeah, if this chip gets like 7, then I'm probably gonna go and buy another motherboard and see if I can get 8. Cause yes! Like if this chip pops out at like 7.5 or something, I'm gonna go for a better motherboard because it has potential. I just don't have the board for it. 6.8. Yes! This will be the highest I've ever been. Actually, everything right now is the highest I've ever been. Oh yeah. Let's keep going up. So we're at 6.8. Yay! 6.9. And yeah, I know I'm only running 2 cores, but hey, what the hell. And it still keeps booting. Yeah. For once, I have a chip that doesn't suck. Well, my 396X doesn't suck, but my 396X is on its last legs and dying in every direction. Off-dead memory controller, undead PCIe. But the cores are kind of whacked already. And 7 is not a thing. Damn it! Oh, 6.9 is still really, really good. So it's time to reset the board. Cut the power, fill the bottom. So I think this will run Signbench at like 6.2. Or maybe if I try to change the multiplier down and crank higher FSD, it'll get better. Because that seems to be the thing with this chip. It doesn't like high multipliers. So I'll try maybe 28 and a higher FSD. Try to get it to work again. Ow, that's old. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
There we go. BIOS reset again. Let's go for more. Whoop. Okay, and now that'll scratch like that. There we go. That'll work. Ta-da! Good, low voltage. And that means I need more nitrogen. I think we might have, I might not even have enough nitrogen for assignments now. That sucks. So I might be only able to do one assignment run, but otherwise CPU ratio. I'm going to try 28. Do the pan. And let's try this. There, 7 flat. So obviously I have to underclock North Bridge. Down to say there. Down underclock the HT link. Disabled. Enabled. Off it. No. All that. That. Yes. 1333. That's still up to my 66. Yeah, I might have not moved it because of the RAM. Okay, let's crank the RAM really low. There. And if you're wondering why I'm giving RAM extra voltage, it's because I don't want it to fail. Just like, really don't want it to fail, so I'm just giving it a little bit extra. Well, not a little bit extra, but extra voltage so that I can't like fail on you for no reason. Features. Disable. 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 Core control. Right. Disable. Okay, good. That's still half full. And the multimeter died, so that's not great. Come on. Why is it? Oh, right, the power on plug. Alright, so everything's fine, it's just doing that thing like last time where initially powered for load. There! See? Voltage back up where it should be. And it looks like this CPU really can't do 70 gigahertz. Oh no, it can. It can. 7, here we come. Yay. And that's 70 gigahertz. Let's go higher. I think 7.705 should be pretty. Save and exit, save change to the move. Yes. This board probably like. The board's actually pretty good in terms of the RAM is old. Woohoo. It looks like they're moves. So I don't know. I could probably spend like an hour sitting here trying to get it to move more. But I think that's kind of boring. And I do like running sign bench. Why is the freaking bit rate so falling off the cliff all the time? Oh, that sucks. Okay, well, where do I get it? Fail. I should have put a jumper on that flip. That actually might have been. Can I somehow shoot that out without? No, I can't. So that's great. Pull the graphics card again. You know, I think I'm going to take my power jump, like the power switch I'm using, and move it onto the bloody BIOS because this is. It's easier to short the power switches than. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There. That's should be clean now. Actually, yeah, that's just because I won't be able to find it again. Boop, baby, boop. Hey. Oh, so that started again. Keep going. Oh. So I went with like 250. So I'll just validate this in CPU-Z and then I'll probably go for some time bench. Yeah, okay, I'll just put that at 800. Still full nitrogen. That's a lot of DRAM settings. Okay, time to get this thing validated. And yep. And after this time bench on 8 cores, which will be hell on earth. Alright, group up. And now the boot. Wow. Now, looks like it's just teetering on the edge of not stable right now, so hopefully he'll pass the boot up. Yes! For some reason, AMD CPUs handle this part of like validating better than Intel's. Like a lot of Intel's would just crash at that point, and it looks like it died again. So I guess I'll have to take away a smidge. You know, that is. Now, get into the BIOS, lower it a little bit, and validate that. Low voltage. Seriously? Now, why is it still doing low voltage? Looks like BIOS just decided to wipe itself out for some reason. Yeah. BIOS seems to have wiped itself out. That's no good. Right. Freaking perfect. Now. Whoa. Let's see. We get it to work with slow-mo. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to try that. Get the BIOS figured out. Cargo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Blah, blah, blah. That should be good. Let's see. Is it good? Looks like it. Huh. Still not booting. Now, did I not sort it out well enough? So if this works now. Alright, this one. Ah, there we go. Booted. do 249 and try validating that. Or that. That's 7 megahertz lower than what didn't work. So hopefully 7 6 smart protection off. Forward control manual. Table. Disable and disable the turbo board. Disable. No, that's talking about outages. Yep. And it's running these 8 cores, it's actually really kind of like burning through the nitrogen really fast. More fridge. That's not closer. I want to eke it out to the point where it's just barely there. That's 6. Actually, so that's worse. This is better. Yeah. Like that. And that's 7 megahertz low, so that's how this starts. So it changes. Yes. Please work. And I'm not doing this, so let's go ahead. There we go. And it's not working again. Well, that's whack. Alright, this is the booting bug. You know, it's at 0.8 instead of 1.8. And I will hopefully go to 1.8 and start. Yay, it's starting. As you can see, the VR is like slowly eking off voltage. Oh, seriously, crap out of this. Don't you dare. Please work this time. Normally. Someone pray to David. Or last stream or something. Okay, that's good. Oh yeah, and if anyone was wondering how much current this is pulling, poor VR is not very poor. We're only putting 36 watts on the CPU. The CPU is currently pulling 36 watts. And it's failing too. So I can't get into Windows. Yeah, but if I get the current clamp on it, it's only reading like 2.7. amps. This is not pulling any power because liquid nitrogen lowers your power consumption a lot. Okay, let's go this. Yes. Yep. Yeah, we're good. It's not pulling any power right now. Once we do sign bench, it'll probably be the same, pulling absolutely no power. That's weird. There shouldn't be any echo since there's nothing that's like I'm monitoring the stream through my browser, but my browser is like turned off, like the audio port is. I'll see if I can figure out what's wrong with the audio. Whoa, that's really bad. Oh, come on! Oh, lower frequency a little more, and hopefully it will finally validate. More ink. Actually, let's see if 28, 40 settings. Because some combination just might work. Oops, overkill that. Reverb. Wait, I'm like, that's. That still makes no sense. Hell, unless it's my own, like. Alright, boot bug. Yay. Yeah, I know, echoing audio, what the hell, how is it echoing? I mean, the freaking, I'm monitoring the stream, but it's muted on my end. And there shouldn't be anything picking it up. What? There. And then it's weird how. Is it still there, or? There's still reverb now. Oh, let's start this off. Still there. I don't know. I'm going to try to restart the mic or something, because this makes 0 sense. Audio. You know what? I'm going to just restart the stream.